Yo, what's good YouTube? Goldie back here with another review. Today we have a pretty hype one. We have the somewhat brand new, sorry I'm a little late to it, Razer Deathadder V4 Pro. I wanted to put a lot of time into this one before I made my review. And I've also been a little busy and a little bit sick with a couple things, but finally excited to jump into this one. We're just going to be covering, like, is this worth the upgrade? What did they change and everything? Starting with the specs. We have a new optical encoder in the scroll, so you shouldn't deal with a lot of the stuff that people complain with the V3, where you have ghosts or opposite scrolls and such like that. They have the new optical mouse Gen 4 clicking. We'll cover those in a little bit. I believe it's the same sensor as the Viper V3 Pro. Sensor is great. We have a brand new dongle, which has increased range and connectivity, and it's also very heavy. So it doesn't slide off your desk with the very thick braided 8K cable, which is really nice. We have the smooth touch debatable coating. And pretty much this guy's upgraded all across the board. They shaved off, I think this is coming in at 55 grams. So they shaved off, and give or take, like 7 grams or something like that from the V3. And those are going to be, it is also coming in about $170 USD, so it is a little bit pricier. I think the V3 launched at like 150. But yeah, no, that's the way the things are going now. So let's start with the shape here. So this is the exact same shape as the V3 Pro. So if you loved the shape but you had issues with other things, this is probably going to start sounding pretty good to you, because the shape is the same, but essentially everything else is upgraded. It's hard to compare this mouse quite to other things, because it's not like an EC ergo, like a lot of, a Zowie EC design philosophy ergo, like a lot of other ergos on the market. It's kind of unique. It's really nothing like the OG Deathadder's, if you've ever used those. They really got rid of like the front flare and modernized it, and kind of morphed that almost with the EC type ergo mice. Speaking of those, I have the X-Lite here, which is pretty much just an EC2. It's a little smaller, but might make some comparisons with that a little bit. But yeah, the shape is exactly the same. This is going to be a shape that's going to be more for larger hands, although you might be able to get away with it with medium hands. It depends how, like, palm-centric your grip is. I would say if your hands are smaller and you want to go really palm, it's going to feel huge. But you might be able to still relax or aggro claw it. If you have larger hands, you'll be able to do anything with this. I have people that fingertip it. I fingertip it casually sometimes. Most of the time I do like this. Right, pretty relaxed. Claw, feels pretty good. For reference, my hands are 21 by 11. They're pretty big, so it feels great in my hands, When I pick up something like an EC2, it feels pretty good too, but it starts feeling a little short. Speaking of the wire pulling dongles off the desk, my V3 is plugged into the wire, and it just literally pulling it off my desk right now. This guy doesn't move though. This is like 45 grams or some shit. But yeah, I think it's more for larger hands, but you can get away with a variety of grip styles, and also medium hands, but small, it's going to be pretty risky, because this is one of the largest mice on the market. It's one of the largest ergos on the market. So I would look at the dimensions and compare it to other mice that you have used before and kind of gauge based off of that. So yeah, the shape is not too much to cover past that. Let's jump right next into the main clicks. The main clicks are the new Gen 4s. They are different from the V3 Pro ones. Let me give you a little sound test. This is the V3 Pro. This is the new Deathadder V4 Pro. You can hear that they're a bit pingy. They feel a little better, but sound a little worse than the V3 Pro. To give you some sort of reference, they're pretty crisp and tactile. They're pretty spammable too. They're pretty easy to actuate in all points of the mouse. Even back here, it gets a little more firm. But they feel good. No side-to-side wobble. The click stability and integrity is really good. When you're tracking and aiming, you don't get side shifting. And outside of the noise, they're probably one of the better click feels for an optical implementation on the market, honestly. But if you don't use headphones or IEMs or something like, you don't have a lot of noise isolation and loud clicks bother you, that could be something that does bother you. But I would say the clicks are pretty damn good. For opticals, I'd probably rate these like literally like 8.5 out of 10 or something like that. For the other clicks and stuff, obviously we mentioned the MMB is now optical now, which is great, but I believe the actual MMB press-in is mechanical, which is fine. Feels good, really spammable. I don't like when it's too hard to spam. Scroll feels good, doesn't feel much different than the Viper V3 Pro. Very similar, honestly. So I think they did a pretty good job on that. I've had no issues with the scroll. It's rubbery, it's grippy, it feels really similarly textured to the V3 Pro. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like the same rubber. My focus isn't going to work there. Very nice. Very nicely placed too, in terms of your finger. It's not too high or too low in my opinion. The side buttons, same thing. Very well placed, and also probably one of the best implementations. Like, just no side to side, very little pre or post travel. They just feel amazing. Very spammable. Yeah, I mean, all the clicks across the board on the scroll, really good. Like, really good. Razer kills it, man. Coding is pretty grippy. It feels a lot like it's somewhere in between the Smooth Touch Deathadder V3 and the Hyperspeed Deathadder V3. The black one feels pretty grippy, not quite as grippy as a white Viper V3 Pro. I don't have the white Deathadder to compare. They're very close. I'd give the edge to the white if your hands are a little more dry like mine. It's a little more grippy. Like, sometimes if my hands are super dry, this guy gets a little more slippery, but overall I'd say the coating is pretty good. It could be a little better. I kind of wish it felt like exactly like this one, but it's pretty good. I think it's going to be better for a little more moist hands than dry. So I think if you have drier hands, I'd go for the white coating. In terms of the software and performance, obviously you're going to be running Razer Synapse. I've never really had an issue with Synapse. I know people hate like the Logitech and Razer software and like most software, and they want like pretty little integration with that, you know, seamless, no issues, web software, whatever, but no issues. I think it's fine. The performance of the sensor is great. I don't use high polling usually, but from my testing, it was fine. It was pretty stable. The battery life, great. Typically I'm on like 2K, but that'll last me like a week of heavy use. Like heavy use on 2K wireless. Maybe even a little longer. But yeah, the battery is probably like, I don't know if it's like Logitech G Pro wireless good, but it's like in probably like the tier below. Definitely like above like the cheaper stuff, like the, you know, like, I don't have anything on my desk right now that's actually quantifying as that, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, the battery lifes are really good, so I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that. Stock skates, something also you're not really gonna have to worry about because those stock skates are actually pretty good. So until you wear these down real good, you can rock these. They are a little slower on control pads and the micros, but they're pretty quick. Dynamically, they're not too muddy, especially for full sizes. But yeah, like that pretty much, I mean, that covers almost everything on this guy. This has been great for me. I didn't really like the V3 Pro as much because it felt like a cheap piece of shit in some ways. I liked the shape, but this one really just kills it. I think the better coating too makes it just feel better in your hand because it's a little less slippery and shit. You know, you have to worry about like the scroll wheel and all that. The clicks feel better. It's a little lighter. I'd say this is probably hands down the best large ergo on the market, like large ergo. Like I don't think anything really else competes. So I would have to rate this very high. I'm probably not going to give it like a number, but if I did, I'd probably give it like a 9.5 out of 10, honestly. It's been my main ergo. Viper's been my main ambi. I'm pretty razor pilled right now. But is this worth the upgrade, I guess? In conclusion, I would say absolutely yes if you loved the Deathadder V3 Pro. You hated it, it's gonna be like, I don't know, like it depends. Like, did you like the shape and hate everything else? You know, we've already covered all that. But to me, absolutely worth it. It is pricey, but this is definitely ticking pretty much all the boxes. Appreciate you sticking around for this. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed.